Mr. DeFazio of Oregon. The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
I thank the gentleman. Some would say that the United States House of Representatives has walked away from its constitutional duties under Article 1, Section 8, wherein Congress and only Congress, the House and the Senate, have the sole authority to declare war. And that on the eve of the first ever preemptive war in our nation's history, that the House of Representatives, under the Republican leadership, has slipped into irrelevance, silent and compliant. Just this evening, we've just finished our regular business, 3 non-controversial bills, and the Republicans have fled downtown for what they expect to be the largest ever fundraiser in their history, business as usual, while 300,000 of our young men and women sit in the desert wondering what tomorrow or the day after will bring. Now, they haven't been, I must admit, totally irrelevant over the last few weeks. Like just last week, tremendous actions were taken here by House Republican leaders. They launched an attack, French fries. And after a flurry of activity, hand-wringing, planning, and massing an assault, they wiped out the dread French fries from Capitol Hill. It's rumored that this week they're planning an assault on Russian dressing, and even tomorrow's turkey menu is a potential target. Meanwhile, 300,000 of our young men and women and a few allies sit in the desert wondering what their elected leaders are doing and thinking. Have we done everything we could for those young men and women? Did we examine and push toward options short of war, which should always be only used in an extreme circumstance and a last case? I don't think so. We voted on October 14th on this issue under pressure of the coming election and gave the president a blank check. And since then, not one official act by this body has dealt with the issue of the looming war in Iraq. Have we given all our young men and women everything they need? We spend a lot of time on the defense contractors, their profits, and their exotic weaponry. But I hear from dads and moms and from some of the troops themselves that they don't have all the things they need. Some of them were sent over there with the wrong camouflage. They got the forest camouflage. Others are worried about the huge number of defective chemical biological suits which have slipped into the inventory due to the fraud and criminal acts of some of our defense contractors. Have we served them well in terms of a plan? Have we had discussions here about how the U.S. will conduct this war? Those are scant. Those are all being kept downtown or at the Pentagon. Do we have and have we discussed and have we pushed to hear about an exit strategy? General Shinseki, in a candid moment, which Secretary Rumsfeld tried to squash and Assistant Secretary Wolfowitz demeaned, said he expects we'll have to leave 250 to 300,000 of our young men and women in that country as an occupying force for quite some time. He said that. They said, oh, no, he's mistaken. He's only the head of the Army. He doesn't know anything. But then he came up to Capitol Hill again last week, and he repeated that statement. They didn't want to hear it. They don't want the American people to hear it. They don't have an exit strategy. They have a plan. When I can't get unemployment benefits extended for the people of my state, to pay 2 million members of the Iraqi military and bureaucracy salaries out of the United States Treasury, and to rebuild the country quickly with U.S. defense contractors when I have bridges crumbling in my state. If we paid half as much attention to the needs of the American people in our state or the needs of our young men and women, I don't believe that this war would have been such an inevitable result and foregone conclusion. But the clock ticks towards zero. The president's ultimatum has 25 hours and 12 minutes yet to run, and the Republican leadership has adjourned downtown for a big fundraiser, and the House is going dark.
The gentleman's time has expired. The gentleman from Nebraska, Mr. Osborne.